So going back to work, it was challenging. It was different because I had been full-time mom at home, caretaking and homeschooling and all the things, like even for a time homesteading. So going back to work reminded me of how much I really enjoy interacting and caring and just really being with people and serving. So because of this, it just seemed only one more reason to get back into taking care of people. So with my husband and I, we prayed about it, and it seemed right and good for me to go back to school full time. But see, with my certifications no longer intact from EMS, when I spoke with people, it sounded like the only way to go back to being a paramedic was to go back and do the school all over. Like it wasn't, there was no refresher course or anything that I'd be able to jump back in and, like, just a little bit of a update and then get back in the field. It wasn't like that because it had been over 6 years since I had any patient contact. It had been over 10 years. So because of this, going back to school, I figured it was a great time to explore other options, because I'm not going to be able to be a paramedic when I'm like 70, 80 years old. So I figured it would be a great chance to kind of discover. And the more I looked into it, the more I prayed about it, the more I realized respiratory therapy was a viable option. And because of the schooling I've done in the past, there were a lot of things, because I was working towards my degree in EMS. So I had some classes already underway. But going into respiratory therapy, it just so happened that the classes that I needed for prereqs to go into the respiratory therapy program, they were all the classes that I didn't do. So they were the ones that I was kind of putting off on the back burner. It's like, if I get to them, I will, especially like math and chemistry. And so these were the ones where I'm like, I'll just hang back on those. Well, now they turned out to be some that I needed. So I spoke with a college advisor, and she's like, you know what, if we go get started now, you have a semester to where you can sign up for classes, and you could just have enough time to get in this fall for the respiratory program if you can pass them. But that meant signing up for 6 classes, and one of those is like a combination lab and class. So technically it's almost like 2 classes. So it's the equivalent of being on for 7 classes all at once in the semester. So at first this is like, okay, this seems crazy, but again, we prayed about it, and it's like, well, I'm gonna try it. And when I started, it was kind of one of those things like, okay, let's see what God does, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, especially because they were some of the subjects that I'm not strong at. But the more I got into it, the more I realized I'm actually enjoying this. I'm enjoying balancing chemical reactions. I'm enjoying learning about different ways to do dosage calculation that I didn't learn in just the basic dosage calc in school, or in paramedic school, because there's different classes. So I'm doing this, and the more I look into it, the more I realize, okay, this is doable. And there are times where I've been a little, not discouraged, but it's like, okay, I want to be reminded of why I'm doing this. And when I go to look online, I don't really see a whole lot of people in my stage of life going for the same things that I'm going for. And so I thought, it might be something interesting to start a channel and just kind of share my journey. So, I mean, I'm a mom of 6. I'm 40 years old, going back to school and showing them what it looks like to continue learning, like, lifelong. So if nothing else, I thought this might be a fun way to document the journey, so my kids can see what it looks like to persevere, even when it seems like there are a lot of things stacked against you, you can still accomplish great things. And part of that is because God put it in my heart to move in this direction. And I'm seeing how he's opening doors that I'm surprised are open. So that being the case, I thought this would be a nice little intro and explain where I'm at. Currently, I'm on spring break. My kids are about to go in their spring break, but mine's coming to an end. So it's a great time to kind of reflect and think about things. And it's a great way to kind of see what it looks like in the future. Not only am I going for respiratory therapy, by the time I'm finished with the respiratory classes, I've kind of got a leg up and I'll already have my bachelor's of applied science in respiratory therapy. But I don't want to stop there. If we're still able to tolerate, because the kids, we have mom getting them back and forth to school, dad's working full time to help support the family. And so because of that, there's a whole lot of cogs that have to fall in the right notches. So because of that, we're going to kind of see what God does. But gratefully with that, it seems like if everything keeps going in the right direction, I don't want to stop at respiratory therapy. I want to go also for physician's assistant if the Lord allows. So here's the start of what is to be a big journey. What I'm going for is like a 4-year program, 4-year degree, but I'm going, Lord willing, hope to accomplish it in 2.5 years. So we'll see what it looks like. Why respiratory therapy? That's because I thought it would be very compatible with my previous experience in emergency medicine. I've never been one to shrink back in an emergency, and it seems like I thrive in chaos. You can ask all 6 of my crazy kids and my husband. But with that, it seems like this is a good fit. And the more I read about it, the more I look into it, and the more I'm introduced to it, it seems like it's something where I feel like I can serve well and be used by the Lord to really accomplish many good and wonderful things to bless others. So that's the plan. So here you go. If you want to come along on my journey, I hope to post pretty regularly and where I am with this. So, and if there's anybody hoping to start on the journey for respiratory therapy, or just jump in at some kind of career and you're a mom and you're not sure how it's going to work, but you're going to give it a try, this one's for you too. So, and thank you for your support, and for, if you've watched all this time, I appreciate you. God bless you. I'm long-winded, but let's see how this goes. The leap feels good.